Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an anti-Valentine's Day look while also incorporating a monochromatic look. So when I did my first impressions on this beautiful Natasha Denona Love palette, I mentioned how this shade here, which is called Heartbeat, reminds me a lot of a lipstick from Lisa Aldridge. It is a shade of Velvet Decade. So I'm going to go ahead and do a swatch of the lipstick here. So there is that lipstick. I love this. And then here I'm going to do a swatch of Heartbeat. So that right there. And then, because of course we have to apply some blush, and for me a monochromatic look, your eyes, your lips, and your cheeks should have a very similar look to tie everything together to make it the monochromatic look. So I'm going to use the blush from this Tom Ford Glow Stick, and it is the one in the shade 04 Courchevel, I believe is how you pronounce it. This is how it looks, and I'll do a swatch here on the side for that. So as you can see, the tones here are very similar, so I think using these products together is going to look really nice. Before we go any further with today's video, if you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. If you have yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing to my channel. I love to do reviews on luxury makeup. Sometimes I also incorporate some drugstore products, and I just love talking about makeup. So if you are as obsessed as I am about stuff, and if you love reviews and little tutorials, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so you're notified when I post new videos. So today I'm actually doing a foundation wear test. I'll go ahead and let you know what I already have on my face. This video is gonna go before the foundation wear test one is. So just a heads up, if you guys are interested in this foundation from Estee Lauder, I will have a full review posted on my channel in a few days from now. So this is the Estee Lauder Futuristic Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup, and I have the shade 3 and 1. Then for my concealer, I'm using my Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. This is from Urban Decay in the shade 50 CP. So I have on my CoverGirl Advanced Radiance Powder. I use this for under the eyes, and then my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder for my T-zone, and I did extend it out just a little bit. So I think first I want to go ahead and finish up the rest of the face makeup. So I'm going to go in with the highlighter, and I want to use the one from this palette from NARS first, is the Overlust Cheek palette. And I actually did a first impressions on this on the video where I also showed the pieces I picked up from the Chantecaille Spring collection. So the blushes here I find are very subtle, and that's a little bit of what I'm going towards for today's look. So I like to use a big fluffy brush when it comes to really subtle highlighters because I like to apply it in a larger area, and I really enjoy this one for these type of highlighters. This is the La Mer powder brush. So I'm just gonna run it through all of the highlighters up here, and then just go ahead and apply it on my cheekbones. But as you can see, it's also kind of covering my temples a little bit of my cheek, but I think that's okay. If the highlight is more subtle, you are not forced to be as precise and as careful. And I just want a nice little subtle glow. The foundation that I'm wearing is a very luminous foundation, so it's one of the reasons I don't want to use such a metallic-y highlighter. And just seriously taking this pretty much throughout most of the face here. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply some bronzer. Today I'm going to use this one from Pure. It is the Bronzing Act Matte Bronzer in the shade Light. Using my Scott Barnes number 65 brush here. Pick some of this up. And with this brush, I like to kind of first stipple it in and then start blending. This shade is really nice. I don't use this that often. I've probably only had this for about 6 weeks, and it's really a really nice bronzer. I actually discovered this, I want to say it was Raw Beauty Christie. I think she was the first one to talk about this, and since then I've heard a lot of other YouTubers also mention it, and it's nice. I wasn't sure if I should go with, they do have one darker shade. I'm not sure if it's called medium or dark, and so I wasn't sure which one to go with, but I'm happy I ended up with this one because it still gives that perfect amount of bronziness to my skin tone. Now, because this is like an anti-Valentine's Day look, You know what all that means? It's just not your typical red or pink lipstick makeup look with like some pink or metallicness on the lid. I mean, I am using the Love palette, which is kind of themed for Valentine's Day, but the colors that we're using are a little bit more, I think, on the grungier side. They're definitely not soft shades and nothing shimmery. For the eyes especially, we're just gonna stick with some matte shades. I'm gonna have on a matte lip, and it's definitely darker than your expected Valentine's Day looks are. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply the blush. And for this, I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics number 7 brush. And I'm just going to apply this onto the brush and then onto my cheeks. So for shades like this, especially, I like to start back here and then bring it forward to the apples of my cheeks. Everybody's face is different. Everybody's preference is different. So if you like to start somewhere else, or I know a lot of people don't even like to put it on the apples of their cheeks, totally fine. Do whatever works for you. But this is how I typically apply these type of shades onto my cheeks. Now with a little smile. And this is definitely a darker blush for me. But I think I'm going to leave it alone for now, because the blush is the first thing to just disappear from your face somehow. So I'm gonna leave it like this. It might look a little bit intense on camera. It doesn't look that bad in person, but once we apply the eyeshadow and the lipstick, if I feel like it's too much, we can still tone it down. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the other cheek here, and then we'll move on to the eyes. To prime my eyes, I'm gonna use this Fenty Beauty Amplifying Eye Primer. And this is a clear eye primer, and honestly, especially for an everyday use, I prefer a clear eye primer. Sometimes I also like to use my concealer as eye primer, and then I set it pretty well with some powder. But honestly, this is my type of eye primers, just these clear ones. Now, if I want to do like a super made up look, something for a special occasion where I want my makeup to be as perfect as I can get it, then I do like to go in with a primer that has a tint to it. But like I said, mostly this is what I enjoy. I feel like it makes my makeup a little bit more wearable. I'm just going to use some setting powder to set this primer because it does leave the lids a little bit tacky. And since we're going to be working with some darker shades, I want to make sure everything is blended as well as possible. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit. Come on closer, come on closer. Oh, that's further. Come on closer. I can't tell, hold on. Okay, I think that's good, right? Okay. Oh, my foot is falling asleep. Okay, so the first shade I want to pick up is actually not in the Love palette. You can obviously use any shades that you have in hand, but I want to go in with more of a like neutral shade for now. So I'm going to use this one from Marc Jacobs. It is the Big O Omega eyeshadow. I'm going to grab a big old brush for this. This is the Detail Pro from Sonia G. I actually use this quite a bit for like a more blinding highlighter, but like I want to be careful as to where I apply it. So picking some of this Big O eyeshadow. I'm going to apply this all over the lid and then up into the crease. If you have smaller eyes, this brush is going to be probably too big for you. So use what works for you. When I first got these eyeshadows, I was using this one all the time, just like this, just on its own, a ton of mascara, ready to go. I mean, I'll apply some under the bottom lash line as well, but just this eyeshadow alone, I love. And this time using a Crease 1 brush. This is also from Sonia G. I'm going to run this here on the bottom lash line. Just lightly. So now we're going to go in with the Heartbeat shade, and because my face makeup is done and I want to try to avoid as much fallout as possible, I am going to hold on to one of these eyeshadow shields. So still using this Crease 1 brush, I'm gonna pick up Heartbeat and let's see how it works with this brush because I might have to end up using another one. So I'm gonna hold this up in place here. You can always remove this and just stick it on, but I don't want the adhesive to end up ruining what I've already placed down, so I'm just gonna hold it. And we're pretty much going to create a winged eyeliner as if we're creating a winged eyeliner. Go here out over the top lash line. And then into the crease. I'm gonna pick up some more because I do want to make sure that this shade, it's really popping how I want it to pop. Okay, and that is where we're at right now with just this. Now with the Blender Pro brush, this is clean. We're going to start blending this because this is too harsh for me right here. I'm not going for this type of look right now. Now to soften these edges, I'm just using a smaller brush to just lightly go over this. Okay, the blending of the shade turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but we're going to leave it like this. Now using this brush that I used to kind of blend out the edges a little bit, this is my MAC 228 brush. Pick up some of that Heartbeat again, and then we're going to run it under the bottom lash line. To clean up the brow bone a bit, I'm going to use my pressed powder that I used earlier to set my concealer with. And I'm just gonna go ahead and run this on my brow bone into this little arch I have here. I'm also gonna use this just to add just a little touch of brightness. If you want, you can use your highlighter to do this, but like I said earlier, I do want to keep this eye look pretty matte. I'm going to go ahead and curl my eyelashes, apply some mascara, put on some lip liner, and then we'll be right back for the lipstick and to wrap up today's video. Okay, for mascara, I use my Givenchy Volume Disturbia, and then to line and fill on my lips, I don't have a dark lip liner. Most of the ones I have are like different shades of nudes and pinks. So I just went with this one from Patrick Ta, and it's in the shade She's Strong. So let's go ahead and apply this lipstick. Again, it is in the shade Velvet Decade from Lisa Aldridge. So because this lipstick is a little bit dark, let's take, you can get a lip liner brush. I'm sure I have some somewhere in there. This is just an eyeshadow brush. And I want to soften the edges here. Alright guys, so this is the final look. I am very happy with how this turned out. I think this eyeshadow, this lipstick, the blush all work so well together for this monochromatic look. I am very happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. And while you're there, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.